they can only help you that much, basically, all the tools. And the guys in charge of running the application, they just have a big on and off switch, more or less. They say, okay, we are secure because we've got a network firewall in front of it, and they know that port 80 or 403 is open, but from their point of view, they're secure. And you have to get those guys all on one table and keep them talking, basically. Sense, not senselessly. It's not my business. Sometimes they say just let do the app development team to deal with that problem, and the app development team says, well, that's security. The security team should deal with that, and they just keep pushing the ball around. And you need somebody in charge of actually dealing with that. I come to that later. And you've got another thing. This is yet another proxy. If you use that appliance, it's just another thing to your network. And you've got potential side effects. If the web application firewall terminates actually some connection, what happens to the open session? Does the application terminate the session after, or time out the session after nobody clicked the logout button or something? Really simple things to start with. Or if you have a really strict rules, like in banking application, if you have to type in some PIN or TAN number to approve your money transfer, you could set up a rule which says only pins with 4 or 3 digits are allowed. And what do you do if there are more than 4 digits? You could block the traffic, but the end user will be presented a 403 denied or whatever, or some error page, and he doesn't know what went wrong. Actually, the right way to do it would be that the application tells you this is not a valid PIN. But you can use it as a last resort if the application is not capable of doing it. Then you can employ a web application firewall rule to help you. I would call it in time patching then, and fix the problem in the application later. This is the right way to do it.
Do you talk about the use of logging versus blocking versus slowing down traffic as a mix of responses? Or do you just assuming blocking?
Not always. It depends on the application firewall you buy. Some of them have something like a shadow rule set. It's just logging stuff. But some of them can't actually do it. They just need to do some action, and action involves blocking. You can employ some whatever you call it, non-action, for example, some bogus HTTP request, which a response which goes back to the device, telling it whatever HTTP, instead of 200 OK, it says 999, and there's a special way to deal with 999s, and they just keep on doing whatever they do in the application flow. So they don't output any site. It's just a redirect of the site again or something like that.
So that partly answers my question, but do you have any thoughts on mitigating the risk of false positives? I mean, one is you could run it in a logging mode to see what's actually happening.
Yeah. What you actually should do is you should use some baseline security. Run it in logging mode to begin with for a few weeks. And after that, if you ruled out every false positives in the baseline security, get that live. And then if the application firewall has some learning mode, activate the learning mode. And look at what the output of that learning mode is. If that's any good, basically, put that into the logging mode. Keep looking for problems and fix them, and refine your rule set, basically, step by step. Everybody telling you that you just put something in, put a magical switch on, and do some magical learning is not going to work, definitely. It's sooner or later it's going to be blocking some legitimate traffic. And nobody knows why. That's the problem, because it was magic to begin with.
Yeah, so the performance angle, because in the risk, so I'm actually working on operationalizing some of the application firewalls in other environments. So two biggest things which I'm getting from IT team or the networking team, one is the performance thing, right? How much performance degradation this is going to do? Because already like there are so many applications, there are things, right? Let's say if you put another thing in the mix.
Also, it depends on basically the vendor. and what you have. If you have a single point where everything flows through, you have to scale that right to begin with. You have to make sure that actually that point scales in the future, because nothing is on a standstill. Everything is going basically up most of the time in the web. Traffic is going up, requests are getting bigger. Last week I saw a cookie, 20 kilobytes, a cookie. And a 20 kilobyte cookie on a modem line would take several seconds basically just to go back and forth. And a cookie gets sent every time you click somewhere on the page. And it's insane basically. And but people do that stuff. Yeah, it's just madness. And so in a
megabytes, it's not. So where do they can get the megabytes?
Yeah, sure. They can get to megabytes for some bizarre reason, really. Because they say, well, it's just an in-house application and we've got Ethernet everywhere, so it should be fast. But then you just open up some VPN to some guy giving you some things to build your products, basically, and they need access to that application. And then the application doesn't work anymore. Well, a lot of a bizarre reason. Yeah. So in scaling point of view, you have to look at the right mixture. You could use host-based stuff. You can use the right hardware, scale the right hardware. Make sure that your vendor provides you with an upgrade path for bigger hardware. So don't buy something and just turn around and go away. Just look at it and how it will develop in the future. Will it scale in the future? Is there a potential problem? Do they use actually hardware acceleration, for example, if it's box, and things like that?
And the other thing is kind of the false positive, where you do the switch over from the monitoring mode to kind of inline mode, or you can say kind of your...
That's up to you, basically. And it's a steep learning curve to begin with. If nobody did deal with the application security at all in a company. If they're new to the field, it's like trying to get on a bike and cycle and downhill on your mountain bike, basically. You're able to cycle now. You can go through Manhattan even, not being run over. But downhilling is something completely different. You have to learn that.
Yeah, the operationalizing kind of the overhead, as you think about, like, even we have put some applications, they're still in the monitoring mode. Just putting it in the actual kind of blocking mode, it's a big uphill thing, because as soon as I put it in the blocking mode and a customer calls and says, okay, I'm not able to access it, it becomes kind of someone's problem, right? And then you have to deal with it in a complex environment.
Exactly. We deal with that in the paper later, and in basically saying that you need a special person for that. Or if you're bigger, then you need several special people for that.
You need what?
Some kind of new guy basically in the company, which is dealing with that, at least in a big corporate. So okay, this is also a table in the paper, protection against the Owasp top 10, and it just tells you where you can fix stuff in the application versus the application firewall versus some policy you can set. And we said to start with, we started with 3 types of application. One application is in the design phase, so it's just on paper now, or on the whiteboard. Application 2 is already productive and can easily be changed, because you probably wrote it, or it is written in some modern model view controller architecture. Or type 3, it's a productive application, and you cannot modify, or only with difficulty modify the whole thing, because you just bought the thing like SAP or something like that.